Yeah, so Nietzsche, just to finish off his life, Nietzsche, born 1844 in Germany. He is, he's a German philosopher. Um, he works at the university. He's a professor, and then gives up the university because of a couple reasons. But one, he just doesn't think the university, the Western University, is doing the job that it can do, and so he goes off wandering for the last 20 years of his life, more or less, and wandering and writing, sort of living in poverty, traveling around Italy and Switzerland and places like that. Publishes a lot of things which most people do not read in his lifetime. So he only becomes famous really, after he's lost his mind, right? So in 1889, he has a mental breakdown. He becomes, catatonic, something of a vegetable. Lives another 11 years, but really can't talk or do anything. Um, and it's in that point, at that point in his career when he becomes this sensational thing in Europe, and and throughout the late 19th and the early 20th century, he really exerts a tremendous influence um, on Western thought. He gets a bad name. Unfortunately, the Nazis co-opt him. Um, uh, Not for any good reason other than they sort of take his most superficial ideas. Also, his Nietzsche's sister, who controlled his legacy, was a raving anti-Semite and Nazi supporter, and she willingly pushed her brother's uh, philosophy and writings as in the support of Hitler and the Nazis, even though there's really nothing in Nietzsche which indicates any any connection. In fact, um, I think Nietzsche would be totally against the Nazis, but that's not how things worked out. So he was used or abused, and it wasn't until in the post World War II period that he was rehabilitated largely through French philosophy. Foucault and Derrida, all these other French philosophers, went back to Nietzsche and saw his critique of Western philosophy as and Western culture as being a necessary and important critique. So that's where we are with Nietzsche. American intellectual debates have not always been that kind to Nietzsche, so he hasn't been a favorite within American culture, I would say.